Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. South Africa has appointed an interministerial committee to tackle the acid mine drainage issue in the western and central basins of the Witwatersrand. Mining Weekly contributing editor Christy van der Merwe is in the studio to unpack this issue. Welcome to Second Take, Christy.
Thank you.
What's the main aim of this IMC and who forms part of the team?
The IMC is made up of 5 ministers representing their different departments. It's the Minister of Water and Environmental Affairs, Buyelwa Somjeka, the Minister of Mineral Resources, Susan Shabangu, the Minister of Finance, Pravin Gordhan, the Minister of Science and Technology, Naledi Pandor, and the Minister in the National Planning Commission, Trevor Manuel. So they will be looking at it in their specific areas of focus. The aim is to get, I think, a national integrated kind of view of this acid mine drainage problem in South Africa and specifically in the gold mining area of the Witwatersrand. What is the exact extent of the problem and how should we tackle it? So what they've done is they've arranged a team of experts to assess the issue, quantify the risks, identify them, assess who is doing what in this area, and then also identify the solutions.
So now you've mentioned that they're going to do all these things. Can you tell us the exact extent and impact of the problem so far?
It's not a new problem. It's not specific to South Africa. Acid mine drainage happens in the UK, in the US, in Australia. In South Africa, it occurs in Mpumalanga, in the coal mining areas, and in the Witwatersrand, in the old gold mining areas. In Mpumalanga, they've got some of the miners who they're still there, so they are starting to deal with the problem. We've got the eMalahleni reclamation plant, which is a joint venture between BHP Billiton and Anglo Coal, and they are treating this acid mine drainage water and then selling it onto the municipality. So we know that there are solutions for this problem. In the Witwatersrand, and that seems to be what this interministerial committee is focusing on, it's divided into 4 basins. So we've got the eastern basin, which is the Benoni, Boksburg areas, the western basin, which is Krugersdorp, Roodepoort areas, far western Carletonville areas, and then the central basin, which is under the Joburg CBD. On the eastern basin, we're told that pumping is taking place, so there is no decant of this acidic water, so it's being controlled, although we have seen some problems with Aurora and Grootvlei and not having money to pay the workers and pump stations and things like that. So it's worth keeping an eye on, I think. In the western basin, around the Krugersdorp area, decanting started to the surface in 2002. So it's already happening. It's flowing into the Tweelopi Spruit, and it's causing environmental pollution. But what is interesting is that the effects of this acidic water on human health, the impacts are not really known. There don't seem to be studies happening about what the effect of this acid mine drainage is on human health. The Cancer Association is doing some studies in that area on mainly the soil and the dust from the dumps, what effect that might have on human health. But so far, we're not sure what the impact of this actually is. So that's the situation in the eastern and western basins. In the central basin, pumping used to take place, the old ERPM mine, but that was stopped in 2008. So the water table is rising in the central basin. So there is no surface decant of this acid mine drainage yet, but we've been told, Marius Keert from the Department of Water Affairs has said within 17 months it could surface if nothing is done.
Now, what are the plans going forward to curb all of these issues, especially relating to the CBD problem?
Well, that is yet to be revealed. This is what the IMC is going to be tackling. In 6 weeks, they are going to, the team of experts that they've put together is going to produce a report. That report will be sent to Cabinet, and recommendations obviously will be made, and then Cabinet is likely to issue a directive about what must be done to tackle this problem. It's likely to include a pump station in the central basin to stop that water from decanting, and then also treating that water. There are a number of solutions that do exist, so they need to have a look at what is out there, what can be most feasible economically and for the particular situation. There are things like active treatment of the water, like lime neutralization of the water. There's cation exchange and reverse of osmosis, but all these processes are very expensive.
And that brings me to the next main question: who will pay for all of this?
That is another question yet to be answered. It is expensive to treat the water. It's a problem that has to be dealt with. The Department of Water Affairs has told us that the liability, this environmental liability, 70% of it lies with them, because these are, especially in the Witwatersrand area, many of the gold miners have stopped mining. They've long left the country. You know, the mines, the companies are closed. So who do you get to deal with this problem? You can't make the polluter pay because you don't know where the polluter is. So, yeah, we don't know. It's likely to be government because a lot of the liability does rest with them.
So we should just watch our tax statements then.
Exactly.
Thanks for chatting to us, Christy.
Sure.
That's the show for today. Join us again next time for more news and insights into what's happening in the mining world.